Good evening and welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I am Tamiru Nimsat. Let's have a look at the headlines. Sri Lanka shows its enthusiasm to attend the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting due in October. Renewable Energy Protectors Association urges presidential candidates to put forward a proper plan for the sector. News in detail. Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinha said that the independence of the central bank is enshrined in the new Central Bank Act in terms of detailed provisions on monetary policy operations. Governor Nandalal Veerasinha also said that the central bank is linked to the executive, thereby making it accountable to the mandate of the people. The governor said this speaking at an event held in Colombo earlier this week.
New Central Banking Act is on the monetary policy. There are strong provisions to ensure independence of central bank, especially I think not only the section important section 26, and also inflation target. So monetary policy independence enshrined in the Act in terms of detailed provision on all monetary operations. Monetary policy implementation, exchange rate flexibility, inflation targeting regime, and the accountability and transparency, all are there. There's obviously no goal independence. So we should not have goal independence. Someone should set the mandate, and we have agreement with the Minister of Finance where inflation should be for the country. I think that is obviously the choice of the sovereign, and that is where the central bank as a public institution is linking to the executive, and through the sovereign choice of the people, executive and the legislation. What is the link? Public accountability is that authority, executive is giving us, or cabinet or minister is giving us a mandate. This is what our mandate as for the country, and you have to deliver that. That's why our agreement between the Minister of Finance and the Government Central Bank on the inflation for every 3 years is the link.
Speaking further at the event, Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinha said that excessive borrowing from the government through the commercial bank have hindered the private sector growth. He said that in order to tackle this, the central bank should cut excessive monetary expansion, making the banking sector decide where to allocate resources more efficiently.
The banking sector is there to create credit, irrespective of whether they lend to the government or the private sector. Their credit creation ability is the same. The problem would be if government is borrowing more resources from the banking sector than through high fiscal expansion. Obviously, then there will be crowding out that will restrict the available resources for the private sector, that will hinder the more efficient private sector growth, and it will allocate resources through less productive public sector activities. That obviously an issue. But when it comes to credit creation, I think credit creation by the commercial banking, lending to the private sector, government sector would make any difference. It's the same. What we have to ensure, there's no excessive monetary expansion through direct monetary finance or central bank pumping money into the system. And once we have that system, and then obviously within the banking sector should have the ability to lend to where they think most appropriate, and that is where the regulation of the finance sector is important to limit kind of additional exposures. Exposure limits for the government, for the state-owned enterprises, and even to the private sector large entities.
Foreign Secretary Aruna Vijayewardena led Sri Lanka's delegation to the Commonwealth Senior Officials Meeting and Committee of the Whole in London earlier this month. These discussions revolved around preparations for the upcoming Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in October, which will be held in Samoa, and the related outcome documents. Secretary Vijayewardena engaged with Secretary of the UK Foreign Commonwealth and Development Officer Sir Philip Barton to discuss ongoing efforts in the Sri Lanka-UK strategic dialogue. They focused on Sri Lanka's economic stabilization, sustainable development, and the importance of the UK's developing country trading scheme in fostering bilateral trade. Foreign Secretary also met with the Commonwealth Secretary General Patricia Scotland to review collaboration in education, climate change mitigation, mangrove conservation, and financial oversight. She also delivered a speech at the London Buddhist Vihara, emphasizing the long-standing religious ties between Sri Lanka and the UK through the Vihara and the British Mahabodhi Society. Stay tuned. We will return after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. The Renewable Energy Protectors Association urged presidential candidates to clearly articulate their plans for addressing challenges in the renewable energy sector. They demanded to know whether the reduction of the tariff rate for solar energy projects to 27 rupees per unit will be implemented in a successive government. The RAPA voiced their concerns in a press conference held in Colombo recently. RAPA President Darshan Lianesekar said that the last-minute tariff reduction discourages local investment in renewable energy and threatens the nation's aspirations for sustainable economic growth through clean energy. Lianesekar noted that the government pays 70 to 100 rupees per unit for diesel-generated electricity while reducing the rate for solar energy, resulting in foreign exchange losses due to reliance on expensive imported diesel. The association asked candidates to clarify their support for renewable energy and urged solar energy adopters to back the candidate committed to reversing the Power and Energy Minister's decision. The Colombo Stock Exchange signed a MOU with the FCC Bank to streamline the process for non-resident foreign individuals to open inward investment accounts in Sri Lanka. This collaboration allows foreign investors to request IIAs when opening central depository systems accounts through the CSC mobile app. The exchange of essential applicant information between the CSC and DFCC Bank is expected to simplify and expedite the account setup process, promoting increased foreign investment in Sri Lanka's capital markets. CSC CEO Rajiv Bandaranaike stated that this MOU refines the process for obtaining IIAs, making it more convenient for overseas investors to access our capital market. He said that the current market conditions, with its low valuations and strong forward earnings potential, present a compelling opportunity for foreign investors. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs successfully facilitated the repatriation of 20 Sri Lankans who had been victims of human trafficking in Myanmar. These individuals were safely returned to Sri Lanka, arriving in Colombo on September 5 through coordinated efforts with Sri Lankan missions in Myanmar and Thailand. The ministry made this announcement in a statement released to the media recently. The group was temporarily housed in Thailand's Bodhi city, where they were provided food, shelter and essential services by the Thai government. The International Organization for Migration supported the repatriation process by covering air tickets and transportation costs. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs said that it continues to work on rescuing the remaining 35 Sri Lankans trapped in Myanmar and urged the public to avoid falling prey to human trafficking syndicates. It advises citizens to strictly follow government-approved procedures for foreign employment and refrain from using unauthorized channels. Stay tuned for stock update. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on negative notes today. The All Share Price Index dropped by 91.87 points to close at 10,571.23 and the S&P SL20 dropped by 37.14 points to close at 2,923.07. The turnover was 1.2 billion rupees and over 31 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. That's all our news for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Take care and good night.